Welcome. It is no accident that you have found your way to the Release the Genie podcast. What would you do with 3 wishes? And what if you discovered that you are in fact that very genie that could grant them? Well, join us now as we discover who our next genie is as we listen in and learn the stories of triumph, inspiration, and passion with some very special guests. And now, without further delay, your host of the Release the Genie podcast, Mr. Paul Rogers.
That's so much better. So good morning, good afternoon, good evening from wherever you're tuning in from. I am your host, Paul Rogers, and welcome to another episode of Release the Genie. Today, I have a very special guest, Erika Petrie. That sounds French, and we've got a little story about that. Founder and writer of shadesofdifferent.com, a website which is an awareness-raising campaign to give voice to differently abled children. I just love that, differently abled. Like her youngest daughter, Michaela, and to promote better inclusion and equality for them in the future. Focal point being that the song she wrote put her daughter's voice into words, and a video featuring Michaela, and trying to help people to change the definition of the dictionary to overcome the challenges worldwide. So, Erika, welcome to the show.
Oh, thank you so much for having me, Paul. I'm honoured to be here. So thank you so much for having me. I really, really appreciate it.
It's fine. I think you're going to make a great guest, Genie. And we've spoken before. We've spoken a couple of times, and absolutely magnetic conversation. So let's jump into it. So I've set the scene for you. I wonder if you could sort of give us a little bit more of the story about you.
Mm-hmm. So the background to the whole awareness raising campaign, if you like, was about 4 or 5 years ago. I nearly lost my youngest daughter, Michaela, who has Down syndrome, and she's still nonverbal. And unfortunately, she was bitten on the finger by another child at school. She developed sepsis, and it wasn't properly disinfected by the local hospital, unfortunately. So she was virtually at death's door. Basically, we ended up, the GP literally saved her life. Penicillin injection, oxygen mask, put us on the ambulance, and we spent 4 days in Salisbury Hospital, which were the longest 4 days of my life. I can't tell you. She is full of life, full of beans. Yes, she's still nonverbal, but she's very physically active, very physically able. There's nothing she can't do from a physical point of view, which is why it's doing a disservice to even use the term disabled, which is why I like differently able. And she was lifeless. You know, she was completely 40 temperature, wasn't eating or drinking, kept being sick. She just really wasn't herself at all. And we didn't know if we could save her. So thanks to the prompt action of the GP, we got to the hospital, and they put her through everything there, from like drips to vaccines to blood tests. She had a cannula in her arm to actually an operation under general where they opened up the finger and whatever. It was scary stuff. They put her through hell, and she never shed a tear. She just didn't bat an eyelid. She just got on with it. Just trooped on like a brave little soldier. And so she was a real inspiration to me even during that time. And so that's when I wrote this song. I thought I wanted to put into words what I feel she's telling me, what she communicates to me every day, even though she hasn't got a voice, but she communicates with me in so many different ways, through her eye contact, through her smile, through her physical ability, through her resilience, through her determination, all this. So I put it all into words. And at that point, it wasn't clear whether she would survive or not. But I said to God, I made a promise to God. I said, you save her life, and I'm going to make this big for her. I'm going to make this her legacy. I'm going to make a difference.
And I know your work. First of all, I know your passion here, and the work you do is to actually reflect that resilience, that strength. And a lot of people, what she went through would be crying, nothing wrong with crying, but to be able to deal with that. And I love what you said about communicating on a non-verbal, but actually it speaks volumes, isn't it?
Absolutely. Yeah. She totally speaks volumes to me, but she always does every day. And another big thing that happened a few years back, which really touched me, was Julia, my eldest. That there's like 22.5 months between them. They're very, very close. And Julia's always been a bit like a second mum to Michaela. But at 7 years of age, so Michaela would have been 5, she turned around and she said to me, "Do you know what, Mum? Michaela has taught me many things, but most of all, she's taught me to be thankful." Bam, that was it in a nutshell. It's just like out of the mouths of babes. I just can't express what that, said to me.
Well, I mean, that is a very old, wise soul and a very young body. I wonder if I could now ask you, you may have already covered this, but what was one of your Release the Genie aha moments?
Well, that was definitely one of them. Obviously, Julia saying that was definitely an aha moment, and the way that Michaela dealt with everything in the hospital and whatever, and came out fighting, and came out stronger for it. And I emerged a better person as a result of her resilience as well. It made me stronger as well. And it made me appreciate more of the day-to-day. Like if there's one big lesson that Michaela's taught me, it's to live in the moment, because she has this incredible capacity to live in the moment always, and she's not always smiling. She's not always happy. That's not true about Down syndrome people at all. They have feelings and emotions and everything just like we do. But she has this incredible resilience, and she has this incredible ability to turn it around and to suddenly smile at something. And she just sees the world through a different lens. It's that lens of love. I think I put it in one of my poems on the website recently, because we've also got a live blog that is a celebration of achievement worldwide. And it's not just about differently able people, by the way. The live blog is kind of a separate issue. It's sort of to give a voice to anybody who wants to share a story, some big obstacle that they've overcome, and come out the other side and share this positivity with the world, because that's what we need right now in the time of the pandemic and whatever. So it's about communicating that. So I've got stories from all over, and from differently able people, and from, normal and inverted commas people. What's normal anyway? But you know what I'm talking about. And it's just fantastic.
Yeah. I always say that the only place of normal exists is on a washing machine or a dishwasher. That's the only normal that there is. So I wonder if you could share with us one of sort of an inspiring comment, or sort of something you've thought is an inspirational comment or a mantra.
Well, differently able is definitely one of my mantras. We've also got a strap line for the campaign, which is where difference is good. Right,
I love that.
Any difference is good. It's a good thing, because diversity is what makes the world go round. Hey, we're all different. And that's what Mickey's song says as well. Yes, I'm different, but I'm the same. I'm somebody just like you. At the end of the day, we're all equal. It's not about judgment. It's not about, we've all got something different to contribute to the world. That's what it's all about. And the more we embrace it and the more we sort of welcome it, the better place we can make this world. So why not,
I think you're right. It's the sum of the parts actually are bigger than the whole. And so what you're describing there is beautiful, and collecting that energy with the stories. I love what you're doing there. But as you said, it's not all sunshine and rainbows. So I wonder if you could share with us a setback or an adversity you've had to also deal with.
Well, obviously, I mean, this whole situation with Michaela was a major setback, but we turned it into a positive, because we made it into an awareness-raising campaign for all children who are differently able. It's their voice. There's a song which hopefully we will play at the end of this interview, or the video even, because it features Michaela and all these differently able children. So hopefully that will help contribute to continue to giving more of a voice to these children, setting them up to having better role models in the future, more inclusion, more equality, and because society has come a long way, but we've still got a long way we can go. And it's about respect. These people deserve respect just as much as we do. who do we think we are? We're not more. In fact, they can teach us something. They've got something more than us, not something less, because they've got an extra chromosome 21. They've got something more, and it enables them to see the world through a better lens. So yeah, we can take a leaf out of their book and learn to live in the moment and whatever. We could definitely.
I love that. I love that, because there is, and we talked a little bit before, you are aiming, and with what you're doing, as redefining the definition in the dictionary, which I thought was just a beautiful way to look at things. And you're right. It's there's different lenses, and if you choose to look through the positive one, you will see positive. So
seeing the world through the eyes of a child, because that is the innocence and the purity, and being able to rejoice in the little things, the things that sometimes we forget, the nature out there, the outdoors, the bird song, all these little things that are actually so precious, and we just forget in our busy lives. We just rush on ahead, and hopefully this pandemic has helped people sit back and think and reflect and actually focus more on what's important, and even being kind to each other and embracing each other and whatever, because we need that, and we're stronger together as well.
Absolutely. There are silver linings to everything, and for one, I think the silver lining on the COVID, one of the ones, is that people have had to slow down. They've had to actually have the brakes put on them, but this is a time of preparation. So I think I know who's going to be your hero, but have you got a hero, fiction, non-fictional? I'm just going to stop now. Have you got
It's definitely going to be Michaela. And you knew I was going to say that, because of her resilience, her determination, and the way she faces life head on, and the way she overcomes all the obstacles and things that are in her way, because she knows exactly what she wants. She might not be verbal yet, but she knows what she wants, and she knows how to get it. She's very good at climbing, and if she wants to climb and get something, she will. She's very good at swimming. She's an incredible swimmer. She goes underwater. She can stay underwater for ages and not come up with it. But, she's perfectly able in everything she wants to do, and she knows what she enjoys and what she's good at. But also she's quite calculated with it as well. Like, it's very rare for her to hurt herself. Like, she knows what her limits are as well. And she can spin around on herself for hours on end, when the music plays, whenever she's spinning around or whatever, but she knows when to stop, and she doesn't lose her balance, all this kind of stuff. She keeps the beat to the music. She loves her music,
I mean, how old is Michaela now?
So she's 12. She's nearly 13. She's going to be 13 next month.
Excellent. Because we've talked, but I never really asked about the age. But that's a very important age, and you must be getting a lot out of having that type of relationship with her as well.
Yeah, I mean, I am a little bit frustrated, obviously, because I think a lot of the fact that the local authority doesn't have the funding and the schools don't have the funding, whatever, has contributed to the fact that she's still nonverbal and that she's not getting all the therapies that she needs on a regular basis. So that is an ever-increasing problem. And so separately, we've been fundraising for that, because I'm in the process now of making Shades of Different into a charity, and I hope to succeed. And that's my sort of end goal, because I want to be able to raise money, not just for Michaela, but other children in a similar situation who are nonverbal, to really make the difference and really fill the gap that there is from the local authority and the special schools in terms of meeting their needs with the therapies, and in some cases also equipment, because suspended equipment and whatever can be very useful for these sorts of therapies, occupational therapy, which has to be quite highly specialized as well. So that's my aim. But in the meantime, to not waste any time where Michaela is concerned, we have a separate fundraiser for Michaela. Well, we've raised quite a lot through social media. We've raised £2,730.
Oh, wow. But I mean, to be honest,
of social media. So
yeah. I mean, from small things, great things grow. So is that what are you working on at the moment? Is that taking up most of your time, or have you got other things you're working on?
I mean, obviously the setting up the whole Shades of Different as a charity is taking up my time. obviously, and it's obviously been held up a little bit by COVID. I haven't been able to set up the bank account yet and whatever, but I will. I've written the constitution, so then I'm hoping to obviously register it with the charity committee. I've got the trustees and whatever. So it's just a question of time and getting everything lined up at the right time. So that is taking up some of my time, and then obviously the live blog, because I update it every week and I put new stories up there. That takes up my time as well. And then when we have interviews like with your lovely self, we put those up on the website as well, the podcasts and stuff like that. So there's a certain amount of time that goes into the website and whatever, and I make sure there's nice pictures to feature images for the articles and whatever. So yeah, I love it because it's my pride and joy, and I want it to take shape, and I want the live blog to really make a difference worldwide, because that's the worldwide element of the whole campaign. Maybe one day we'll be able to make it into a charity worldwide. I don't know. Aim big, but we've got to start small, obviously, and be realistic and be sort of manage what we can manage for now. So yeah.
And there is no one who's watching this who can doubt your energy, because your energy is electric. And
this is the evening for me, so I'm not anywhere near as electric as I would be normally. Just bear that in mind.
Right, okay. If you catch this lady in the morning, you better buckle up on the way, because this is 8:00 in the evening for the UK, and that was not planned. But your passion for this it's very, very deep.
Mm. Well, my passion for this obviously is born from my sort of passion for Michaela and making a difference to her, and the fact that obviously I fight her battles every day. So that gives me even more fuel and passion for the campaign and to make this into a charity and everything else as well. But also I am passionate not just as a carer at home, but also at work. I also work with autistic young adults and so forth, which I also love, and that's another side to it. But that's also my passion comes into that as well, because it's all part of my sort of caring nature, if you like. And I'm also quite academic as well, so I can really support these pupils within the curriculum, which is great. So it kind of meets all my sort of areas of sort of passion.
Well, what it feels and sounds like is you're able to sort of go between the traditional blocks and fill the spaces between them. So with what you do with your skills, so that's wonderful. That's wonderful. I love it.
Well, ultimately, I really want to be the CEO of my own charity, really. So I'm hoping it's going to be, sort of me running the show.
Well, to be honest, newsflash, you heard it here first. And so now we're going to move to the second part of the show, which is where I get to ask the wise genie for 3 wishes. So are you ready?
Okay. Yeah. Do I have to give you the wishes at this point then?
Oh yeah. Here we go. Right. This is time for you to buckle up. So the first wish, what was the best advice you've received in your life?
Oh gosh, best advice I've received in my life. Be true to yourself, and don't let anyone sort of sway you otherwise, because if you're true to yourself, you speak from the heart, you speak with passion and whatever, you can always communicate something to other people. And no one can ever question your personal story, because that's what you've been through. And you can really communicate through that story. You can really be real, and you can really make a difference to other people through what you've been through.
I love it. And you're right. Standing behind what you believe in, it makes you bomb-proof.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay, well, I think I've done quite well on my first wish, so I'm going to go on to my second. So my second wish is, what advice would you give to your younger self?
Live in the moment, and don't take anything for granted, and live day by day and step by step. Carpe diem, definitely, because you don't know if there is a tomorrow. You've got to make the most of today, and it's about who you are and the legacy that you leave behind. And this shades of different for me is my legacy, to Michaela and to differently able children, I hope, all over the world, because that's what I want to be able to be remembered by. When I'm not here anymore, hopefully that's going to be what I'm going to be remembered for. So, yeah.
And I think if the legacy becomes immortal when you're actually able to put it into a charity, because then actually the parts can change, but the story continues.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I'm hoping also that to some extent that will also be achieved through the live blog, because these stories are inspirational. They're already inspiring people, and they've connected me with so many wonderful people, so many wonderful charities through social media and whatever. And we're supporting each other, and we're sharing stories and sharing messages of love and smiles and laughter and whatever, and positivity. And that's what people need right now, and all the time. Because, why not? It should always be about positivity, because positivity has the power to turn things around.
And really, I can, from what you've told me, I can see that that positivity is a common theme which runs through all of what you do, and Michaela as well. I think that. Lovely. I mean, wow.
I want to give a positive message. That's really what we want to do.
And I love that. I love that. Well, I'm 2 for 0 at the moment. I think I'm doing very well. So I'm going to move on to my third and sadly final wish, which is, could you share one habit that attributes to your success?
One habit?
Mm-hmm.
I'll seriously think about this one. Well, I mean, can you term enthusiasm as a habit?
Hell yeah.
I'm very enthusiastic, very driven, very focused, very passionate. I think that speaks to people, because obviously I'm talking from personal experience as well, and I'm sharing something that's very real to me. And sometimes I get emotional about it and whatever, but that's all part of the journey that I've been through. So I'm not afraid to shed a few tears. I'm not afraid to show, because that's what makes it all more real, and that's what makes it about what I've been through with Michaela and whatever, and me sort of sharing something that I'm hoping is going to inspire others. So
I love that, and I was thinking about enthusiasm, and I believe that is inspiration having fun is enthusiasm. So
that's a nice definition.
So write that down. No, I think that hey, anyone who's watched any of this interview up to now will never ever give you any bad mark for enthusiasm. It comes through the screen, so that's wonderful, and you're authentic. That's it. That's if that's what it is, that's what it is.
For me, it's the 3 Ps: passion, purpose, and positivity.
Oh, wow. I love the 3 Ps.
And they're all connected. They're all connected, because you can't have one without the other if you think about it.
Well, a 3-legged stool doesn't sit up by itself.
Absolutely.
I love it. Oh my goodness. How much fun is that? So we usually ask the wise genies, is there or has there been a book that has really sort of been your go-to, or one which you really enjoy?
Well, I've been quite inspired lately, actually, by a book that I'm reading. It's actually written by the brother of a boy with Down syndrome. So they're brothers, and that's one of their stories actually on the live blog as well. And they're in Italy, and they're basically there's about 2 years between the 2 brothers. So it reminded me of my 2 daughters as well, because they're very close in age, similar age difference, and they've always done everything together. And this brother of his with Down syndrome, slightly younger, has led a normal, in inverted commas, non-sheltered life, because he's done everything with his brother, and his brother has welcomed him and included him in everything, and they've even been on the telly together and whatever. And it's just such a fantastic, heartwarming story, because it just goes to show how just little things like that can help break down barriers and help people see, because I think all these disabilities and whatever, in fact, that's why I don't like the word disability. It's in the mind. It's all in the mindset. It's about changing the mindset. And so these sorts of stories I find really particularly heartwarming, because I think, this is how we're going to change the mindset. It's not going to happen in a day, but little by little, these little stories will go to making that jigsaw that is going to help to change the world, one step at a time.
Yeah, no, I love it. What was the name of the book?
Oh, I think it's in Italian. I think it's mio fratello un gigante. My brother is a giant. Luigi Mastroianni.
Yeah, I feel I need to throw my hands around. So we'll track that down. So don't worry. Look, where can we find you? Where do you hang out?
Okay, so our website is called shadesofdifferent.com. That's different with a T. Shades of Different, all one word, all lowercase.com. The live blog is on there, so you will find a page that will say live blog, and you can click onto it, or you can go onto it with the link. If you put shadesofdifferent.com and then /more stories, you'll go straight to the live blog. At the end of each page, there is actually a donate page currently. But as I said, Shades of Different is not a charity yet. The donate page that there is there currently is to fundraise for some charities that have supported us over the years, that are local charities to us, most of them quite small and not as well known. So if anyone wants to donate to any of those pages, they're more than welcome, of course. And then on the home page, there are the two versions of the song. There's actually two versions of the song, because when we came to record with the awesome Jamie King from Absolute Music, he said, why don't we do a more poppy version of the song as well? So we've got both versions. And we've got a little video at the end of the homepage, which is also on YouTube, that features Michaela and a lot of these differently able children that we took in various locations, including our garden in the summer, whatever, with all these differently able children. It's lovely. Get the Kleenex out, because you might have to shed a few tears. And we've also managed to put sign language on it, so that makes it quite sort of international. And if you like, sort of, people who are deaf or whatever, impaired in some way, can still access it, and it can still have a significance for them. So we really wanted to do that. We had the good fortune of being able to connect with a sign language interpreter who very kindly did the sign language for us. Well, that's great. Yeah.
What we'll do is people already from before this will have actually seen your songs, because were released before this. So they will be an educated audience, because they will have seen the songs and the videos. So thank you for that. And, thank you for just being so authentically you.
There is actually something else that we're working on at the moment,
which might
interest you, which is a musical project in connection with Shades of Different becoming a charity. Another thing that we want to do is release a CD, which is going to contain all original tracks. And obviously, two of them are going to be the versions of Different that are on the website, but there's also going to be some brand new tracks, all on the topic of diversity and inclusion. I'm collaborating with a number of different musicians and whatever, and they're putting together tracks for the CD as we speak. So hopefully we'll have at least 10 tracks on there, and the idea is that we'll have a CD that we can sell, and we might even be able to stream it, because I think one of the musicians has got his own record label, so there's a possibility. But yeah, the world's our oyster, but it's exciting because there's also a new song that I wrote called Include Me that is being transformed into a rock track. It's a completely different vibe to what you heard.
Wow.
That's going to be on it. And there's also a very talented musician friend of mine who's written his own song as if he was me talking about Michaela, and it's awesome. It's without words, and it's just I can't believe what he's done. So yeah, there's going to be some really good stuff going on this CD when we finally release it.
We're going to keep our eyes open, and we'll keep everyone as well who's watching sort of up to date as well with our updates. That's amazing. I mean, goodness me, there's a lot.
I get going, nothing stops me.
No. I mean, you need that enthusiasm. That's all I can say.
Yeah, and bear in mind that it took us, a good 4 years to actually, get the website up and running. Get it all recorded and the video and everything. And we encountered a number of obstacles along the way. It wasn't a simple road. It was quite bumpy, but I'm really pleased that I held out throughout it and saw it through, because
you're reflecting resilience within your family. So I love it. Well, look,
never give up. That's my motto.
Well, it's been an absolute honor to have you on as one of our genies, and for you to be able to share your enthusiasm and passion. So thank you very much. I know everyone's going to love it. Do you have fun?
Oh yes, absolutely. Thank you so much for having me. I have so much fun with you. You're such a colourful character, and you're a complete genie in your own right. So I'm really honoured to be in your presence.
Well, look, the deal is you don't make me blush, I make you blush. So, but so look, thank you very much.
Mutual blushing society here.
Yeah, exactly. We can set up. Yeah, that's a good idea. So look, thank you very much once again. Everyone, I hope you've been inspired and moved by Erika's story. Keep an eye on the horizon. There's more stuff to come from this lovely lady. And I would encourage you to release your genie. Until the next time, thank you very much. And we'll see you then.
Thank you. Bye.
No one is the same. If you say disability, it only brings me pain. I may look different, develop at a different pace, but there is nothing more special than the warmth of my embrace. What is it you see when you look at me? I may be different, but I'm a person just like you. I just wanna be everything you see. I may look different, but I'm somebody just like you. My smile, you know, is real, and my laughter too. I show a childlike world, you know it's true. My heart, it is pure, as the snow is white, and I'm gentle and loving and caring and bright. What is it you see when you look at me? I may look different, but I'm somebody just like you. Wanna share and be surrounded by love and care. You know that I don't talk, but in my green-brown eyes, all my hopes and dreams are of starry skies. If you see this world in colour, it would be a better place. You'll see the light shine, just look at my face. What is it you see when you look at me? I may be different, but I'm a person just like you. I just wanna be everything you see. I may look different, but I'm somebody just like you. I'm somebody just like you. I'm somebody just like you.
Well, that's a wrap. You have been listening to yet another episode of the Release the Genie podcast with host Paul Rogers. Be sure to follow Paul on the LinkedIn platform and learn more of Paul's resources at www.takeactionacademy.ca. And until next time, as always, be mindful and be sure to release your genie. Thanks for listening.